Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. But before we get started with the regular video, I want to tell you guys that Retrobit is bringing back Battletoads and Double Dragons for the NES. Yes, this beat 'em up game is very rare to get and very expensive to get if you try to get the original versions, but I'm happy to report that you don't have to try to suffer and try to pay those expensive prices for the original ones. Retrobit is re-releasing this, and you have until May 22nd to pre-order this. So don't be that guy who waits till the last minute and all of a sudden you can't get your pre-order through. So definitely order by May 22nd. That is the deadline. Now, going into a little detail about this game. This is a sequel to the original Battletoads game, and it's kind of a spin-off as well. But just to let everybody know, it's not as hard as the original Battletoads game. The Battletoads game is known for its extreme difficulty, and everybody's going to refer to the turbo tunnel pretty much. They do have a turbo tunnel in this game, but it's not as hard as the first game. A lot of people will get past this one easy. Now, most of the game consists of platform levels, beat 'em up levels, and even one shooting level that's really cool and kind of difficult, but actually pretty easy once you get used to it. Now, this game was like pretty much a big deal back in the day because it was the ultimate team up. Battletoads and Double Dragons together in one game. Like crossovers like that were like that they just never really happened. So it was really cool to see something like this. Now, one thing I really liked about this version of the game is that it was uncut. And what I mean by uncut is that they have certain scenes in this game that weren't in the Super Nintendo version, and I think the Game Boy version as well. And that was pretty much the after scene. After you beat a boss, it would show you kind of like Professor T-Bird talking crap to him. It would pretty much show the boss all beat up, which was pretty hilarious to me back in the day. Kind of like Street Fighter. For some reason, they cut that out of the Super Nintendo version, which really bugged me when I was a kid. But the NES version has it over the Super Nintendo version, which is crazy. So definitely a plus for me. One thing I like about Retrobit's release of this game is that the game comes in a green cart. It's like, this is the way the game should have been released back in the day. Like now it's finally here. So definitely another plus for me. Another game I want to highlight is Snow Brothers Collector's Edition. This is going to be a pre-order from Limited Run. It's available until May 8th. Sunday, May 8th, that's when pre-orders close. So you have time to pick this one up still. But also, too, if you just want the standard edition, that's available for pre-order on Amazon. And I'll leave all the links in the description for those. Now, if you haven't played Snow Brothers before, it's very similar to games like Rainbow Islands, Bubble Bobble, and another game I can't think of right now, wait a minute, that's Tumble Pop. They're very similar to those type games, so you'll know what you're getting into here. The game is a lot of fun. And honestly, it's a miracle that we're getting this as a physical release. You know, Clear River Games, that's a new publishing company that I bought from before. And they've sold games like The Hunt Down, and they actually have an upcoming game as well, Death Smiles, being released in America. So be on the lookout for those. But definitely keep your eye on this company. They are putting out some really cool titles in a physical format. Alright, and now mainly what I want to talk about in this video, of course, it's a Retrobit Prism Component cable. Now, this was sent to me by the company, and you know, just going over a little history here, component cables I've never really dealt with over the whole GameCube life cycle. I've always had to deal with the regular composite cables, and I thought that was the way to go pretty much with this system. I mean, at that time, I was just happy to be playing games on a flat screen television, but I didn't know that the quality that I was looking at was pretty subpar. Now, if I had known that back in the day, I would have tried to get the component cables, but here's what I found out about them, is that the Nintendo component cables were like, you had to order them pretty much, so they weren't really available in stores, at least from what I was told. So, you know, if they were more widely available, then I think a lot more people would have like been using them, and I would have probably known about the quality of certain games back then. Now, over time and over the years pretty much, you know, these component cables became really sought after, and they were extremely rare. I remember one of my friends, Casey, had found some at a GameStop, and they accidentally got marked as regular composite cables, so he got them for a really good deal. But they were just going for a lot of money because they were so sought after. But I'm guessing that since nobody really knew about them at the time, they weren't really ordering them from Nintendo, so weren't really many out there. And we know when there's not a lot of items out there, they become pretty expensive. Now, I'm not here to give you guys a detailed comparison between composite and component. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen enough videos about that type of stuff. But what I wanted to kind of compare this to was the HDMI adapter that they made for it. So which one would I pretty much use? Well, it really depends on the television I'm going to play it on. If I'm going to play on an old school CRT, I'm definitely going to use the component cables. If I'm going to play on a modern television, I'm definitely going to use the HDMI adapter. One of the reasons why is the HDMI adapter Now with modern televisions, they seem to be taking out a lot of the options you would have with old school televisions, like with the CRTs. Pretty much, you had a lot of options to kind of like how you wanted to input your devices. You know, with the new televisions, you only have like two options usually: HDMI and component. But it seems like they're trying to take component away as well. So you know, when it comes to this modern television, I'm totally fine with using the HDMI adapter. But anything else, going back to CRT, definitely I would go with the component cables. I mean, both are high quality, but if you want to play the games the way they were intended with 480p, well, at least a good portion of them, I think these component cables are the best option. Now, of course, before we end this video, I just want to show you guys the component cables themselves, plus instruction on how to use them. Now, these only work with a certain model GameCube, which most of you probably have, but you just check just in case. Make sure you have the right GameCube model to use these. That has the two ports on the back. If it doesn't have that, then you can't use these cables. So make sure you have that model GameCube. So I also forgot to say this in the beginning, but these cables will cost you $59.99. Do I think that's a good price? I think it's fine if you want good visuals. So it's definitely, I mean, you get what you pay for it. And I think this is quality. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll leave a link in the description on everything I talked about on how you could get it for yourselves. And that's all I got for you. Radical Reggie, and I will see you all later.